there. Welcome to part 3 of my little series on talking about homeschooling. I just did part 2 last night, and I thought, well, I'm on a roll, kind of I've got things in my mind. I'll just go ahead and do the next part. Just as I have spare time, I kind of gotta grab it. I don't get a lot of spare time. So, welcome to my channel again, and to my videos. There's Becca came to join me in the library, and to this series of about homeschooling and things we're doing, and just things that God's kind of just put on my heart, for my family personally, and how I want to I want to encourage others as well in that, just to kind of really stick with it, whatever God has put for you, for your family, and how important it is to train them, and the things of God. So, okay, I'll get going. So in this one, I'm kind of talking about, what do you do when you feel like quitting? You're so in the homeschooling journey, and you just feel like you just can't do it, because the homeschooling is a very hard job. It is, no small job, and it's when you're in there for the long haul. It's a long journey, and it's worth it, of course, all the way that I've talked about, the things that we're able to implement to our children and teach them. I'll talk about that more, but whatever it is, why you've made the decision, say, to homeschool, if you've made that decision, or you're in the process of making that decision, you've got your reasons, and you go for it. But it's not going to be easy. And I guess just a minute, Becca. It really probably makes a difference of how many school you've got doing school at once, what their ages and grades are, and then how many little ones that's under, that's not doing school, and how many of them you've got to tend and do. And so that makes a big difference. But not, so a lot of time, our days can look really good. We get a good early start. Things just move right along. They're just, grasping everything and learning, and all. And it just, make really good time. Not a lot of interruptions. They get done at good time at the end of the day. And it's like, whoa, good. But there's so many days that are not like that. The days are not, right? There's going to be, a lot of days where just not a whole lot of schooling maybe gets done the way you would hope and way you think it should look like. But, that's all part of life. Errands are going to come up that you need to run. Diapers to change, messes to clean, sibling squabbles to settle. And the list just goes on and on, as you know, as a mama. Kids are always, asking for a snack, or snack time. Then it's meal time before you know it. And it's like, so all these challenges as a homeschool mom, because it's not like everything else ceases and you just do school. Oh, that would be joy. Because I love teaching the kids different things. I love, and I expound on different subjects with them. And I just like, wow, I love it. But then there's these interruptions. And then it's mealtime. Yeah, just right, Becca. And so we've got all of that to do. It's not just like we're we do homeschool. That's it. Like in the classroom, the teacher is not cooking the meals and, changing diapers and maybe starting a load of laundry and all of that at the time she's doing school teaching, by no means. So we've got quite a challenge at home. One thing that has really helped me kind of in that area of trying to juggle everything is just really, getting more relaxed, I guess, in the area of schooling and that area department, and relaxed just in everything else that I have to do, and just realizing that everything will get done in time, and I just try to let things go and just focus on school, and I try to keep that my time with them now just kind of more in the morning, and then I'll help some in the afternoon if I have to, and let them do the subjects they can do on their own later. So I just kind of let everything just go go. And sometimes the house can be quite a mess. There'd be a lot of little messes after, and then we just all pitch in and we do that together. But there has been times too when I'm just like, okay, we got to stop school, halt everyone where you're at. Let's let's tidy up some stuff. Let's do this area and this. And, until I feel like, okay, there, things are in order. We can get back at it. Now we can focus. Now I'm, settled down. Now I can focus. And so sometimes you just have to do that. And that helps to keep, out of your sanity and keeps everything going. I've had, my mom's help quite a bit. She has came over, last year she started out my first grader, Daniel, and just was worked with him before we went down to Texas there. So a couple good months with him, and then I worked with the other ones. And then Nathan, I had him also at that time helping me, and then he has helped other years. My mom, other years, I maybe run the kids down to her house because she's not that far down the road, and get them down to her house, one or two of them sometimes a few days a week, and that has helped. But not everyone has that help, and that was just tremendous for me. No one has that. So when the days are tough and rough and you feel like quitting and throwing it in, don't do that. Remind yourself of why you're doing it in the first place. What was your why? Was it important for you to do it at home? Why did you want the kids, with you all the time? Was it, your spiritual reasons of things that you can teach them about God all day, and they're with you and you know what they're learning and what they're not learning? Whatever your why and your reasons, you've got some good reasons, and remember that and hang on to that, and realizing their school does not have to just look like it does in the school system, or if you think, oh, well, I can't possibly be doing it right because, I can't maybe give them all that undivided attention that maybe the teacher can, but she can't really either, right? She's got how many kids and she really can't, I think, in that way either. But maybe there's just other things that you see, like, I can't do that, don't worry about, for one thing, God knows what has enabled you to teach them what they need to learn. And just, keep kind of resting and relaxing in that, and just keep asking the Lord, what do you want me to teach them, and what is important? And maybe there's some things that is not so important, and you let go, and making sure you are teaching the things that are, like I talked to my last one, making sure that we are definitely getting them sound and grounded in the word and the gospel, and these things that are very, very important, and all the other school things really will fall into place as well. It's kind of like the verse that says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added on to you, and then you will, it can all work out. But just remember your why. So when it gets tough, just remember, your reason why, and really stick to that. And then if you and your husband are together in it, not necessarily together like in him helping you. I mean, that's great if the husbands can help, but if not, I just mean together and supportive, where he is for it and he has his, you share the same reasons why if you're doing it. And just that he can remind you kind of, this is why we're doing it. And yes, it's, it's going to be okay. It doesn't have to look like, say, what everyone else is doing exactly, or how it, you think that's all going so efficient in the school system, whatever, in that way they're in the academics, but just, so he can encourage you that it is going good, and that you do have what it takes to teach them their school. And like you go by curriculums and books, you can they're just all set up and lined up in that area too. And that way, if you just going by the books, but there's different approaches where they can go by a lot by their interest, and just and learning that way, like I said, like in the higher grades anyway. So but just stick to it, stick to it. Hang in there. There's going to be crazy days. There's going to be days that you're going to say, I love homeschooling. I'm so glad my kids are home and I'm homeschooling. Some days you're going to feel like, I just can't stand homeschooling. I can't stand this. But I know my why, and that's why I'm doing it, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to hang in there, and God, you're giving me the strength. I can do all things through God who strengthens me, and I do love to have my kids with me, and even when days, are crazy, and, maybe there's more training that needs to be go on that can make it more efficient and more smooth. I've known that in my own home that, I haven't always, there's certain areas that I know if I had the better, training with them, that it wouldn't be as crazy, or it wouldn't be, the house wouldn't get such a mess when I'm schooling, if I had the better training, say, with the kids. But it's still a big challenge, right? It's one of the big thing. But just, there will be hard days, but hang in there. You can get through it, and get support. Get support. There's so many homeschool groups out there on Facebook, homeschool groups, and then homeschool groups that you can just be in person to. Communities, a lot of communities have homeschool groups, and our co-ops. I've never been a part of those, but for support and encouragement, make sure you get your support group and those that are for you and with you, because you may not have it all. Even family won't support. They're like, won't understand. Why are you homeschooling? Why are you doing that for? You can't teach them right or what, so that's hard. That's really hard when you don't have family support, especially when you're close family or extended family. If you don't have that and you have that kind of pulling on you, that's hard. And so get some good support, solid support, so that you can keep going in those days when it gets tough. You can call that friend. You can, ask that question on that homeschool group and say, hey, what do you do? This is going crazy. And I see these comments and questions all the time on homeschool groups and I'm on, and that's what they do. They ask questions and people give them support and say, hey, you got what it takes, mama. Keep doing it. You go, mama, and give them some good, good advice or whatever they're needing. And so, just hang there. Don't give up. I know some days for me, when it was hard and I'm kind of feeling like, I don't want to be the one to homeschool. I want my kids homeschooled. Yes, I do. I have my reasons. I want them homeschooled, but I don't want to be the one to have to do it. And, it's kind of reminds me of like how it is with my book too. I would, the book that I'm writing, I'm really, excited about this book and having it done, getting it out there. But I'm like, I don't want to be the one to write it. This is a lot of work. I don't want to be the one to do that. So it is the same with the homeschooling too. But I guess we're created for hard things, right? And we can get helps to, like the support I meant in that way, but actually helpers and like someone in the home, helper maybe with if you have all little ones, don't have helpers for just housework and all of that, you could get a helper that way, or a helper to come in and correct lessons or something, like a fellow mom that maybe she's kind of done with that part with her kids. Like if her kids are older, I know that in a homeschool group I was involved with several years ago, that was a situation that this one mother, her kids were older. I don't know if they're completely graduated, but they just didn't need her, every day like that. So she would go and spend 2-3 days a week in another mom's home and help her correcting lessons. And she just sat at the table there correcting lessons as the children come in, lay their books down. She had the answer keys, teacher books, everything there, and just she would correct them. Then the children would come back, pick up their books. She might explain some things to them, and just on such a help she was to that mother. And so you can maybe get some help that way. You can maybe trade, whatever, kind of like that too. So just a suggestion that could definitely help. Not only do we have our reasons of homeschooling, back again, of why we were, doing it, but also we have been traveling the last several years back and forth between Canada and U.S. and just travel at kind of at odd times, like during school the season, so we wouldn't have been able to do that if we were had them in the school system, if we weren't homeschooling. So that's kind of one reason for us too, just that flexibility to be able to kind of do these other things for being an option for us. And then just so that we can really train them and the way they should go on strong values at home, and our goals, have God-fearing, focused children, and later on, adults that seek first the kingdom of God in their lives, and desire and to please him, in just all areas of their life and everything they do. And that we want them to have, higher goals than just getting this super good, education and a good job and this really nice vehicle or this nice home, and have much higher goals than that. I know, all of us Christian mamas, and right, we want that. And of course that's understandable for them to want, for those to be a natural thing. Like I said, that's part of the American dream. But these things are so temporary, right? All of these things that we might really pursue a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money into, like I said, all these for getting this big higher education and this these certain jobs and these certain in for vehicles or homes, and it's so temporary and fleeting, and what's going to last is what we do for God, and what they know, about Him, and how they invest that for kingdom purposes and into the lives of others. And one more thing I want to mention, I hope my stuff, thoughts, my things that I'm saying is not just too scattered here, but is that another thing I really feel that when children grow up being around kind of different, maybe lower standards that can happen in public schools, and with the influence of all these, the latest movies coming out with the values are just not good. We know the standards and the values of the world are just going to pot. They are not good. They don't match up to the way we want to raise, as Christian parents want to raise our children for the Lord. And when our children are around that really does a toll on them. I think over time it really wears them down, where these things don't seem so bad anymore that should seem bad, especially when we're not around it. For those kids that are not around it, and then they see the difference, like, whoa, this is bad. But for those that have been around it, they're like, and in this, say it's out, in the school or whatever, or, in the movies, and children are not used to it, are going to maybe be shocked. Whoa, this is bad. And they're like, what? This is not bad. Like, they're used to it, right? Like, what? This is not bad. There's much worse than this. And true, there is. But just, that is one thing that can really have a pull where it doesn't seem so bad, even though they can know it was, growing up in a good home, Christian home, and can know, this does not match up the way God wants us to live. Yet being so influenced by it, it can just really wear on them. So that's kind of one of the reasons for us, for homeschooling, and why, we really want to stick to our guns, even though we might feel like quitting, even though, sometimes it's some hard days, but there's things like that there's reasons, because we want them to be and good influence and good, so we know they're friends, and that's not pulling them down and wearing down their values, so that, they when they can really know, what's bad in it, so we're not wearing it down where, certain things don't seem so bad because they're so used to it, so immune to it, of lower standards or swearing, or all that it can be so out there, and just what seems normal, right? And you can just be used to it, and the relationships between guys and girls, and the way they can behave, out in school, out in the world of very low dating practices. I mean, it's a very well-known thing, the way they can date, and just being very physical, very, and all that, that's so early and at such a young age, and yet it's such, considered normal. That's what they do in the movies. It's all out there. Well, everybody's doing it, so it really pulls them down. I think we don't realize what effect it really has on young people when they're out in the school system. So that's the big, reason why we homeschool, and why we gotta keep sticking to it, mamas. So that's the encouragement I want to give on that, and just keep going, even when it's tough, and it'll pay off in the long run. We'll have children that to truly love God. I mean, they've got to choose. Like I said, you raise them up in the way they should go, train them, and help them to see and have the heart for God. But in the long run, they're the one that's going to have to make that choice. And we just do our part and pray diligently for them that they will truly seek God and want to love Him, and put Him first in everything, in every area of their life. And yeah, it's a big journey. It's a tough journey, but I hope I've been an encouragement to you. I hope I've said things that just help to encourage you to keep going, and what it is that you're going, that God's put on your heart for your family, and that you can't do it in His strength. You can. So, well, I hope this is been good. It's not been too long. I hope she didn't make too much noise. I hope you could hear me. Did you make too much noise?
No.
You didn't? Okay. Well, I hope she didn't. Okay. You take care. More great resources, my website and blog, and stay tuned for more. Okay. See you.
Bye.
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 Bye.